Just a quick note before the video begins, a lot of people that watch the videos on my channel aren't subscribed. Subscribe, it's free, you could unsubscribe at any time. And now on to the video.
Real disappointed if Billboard gets paid for number ones, somehow manipulate the charts. I want the whole world to see this, because what I'm about to show you is a forecast, right, of what every label in the world gets. Atlantic, Interscope, Republic, Columbia, Sony, Universal Music, every label gets this, right? This forecast was today, Friday. So it was sent yesterday. This is the forecast from yesterday, right? Number 1, Doja Cat, Say So. Number 2, 6ix9ine, Gooba. Number 3, The Weeknd, Blinding Lights. 4, Megan Thee Stallion. Number 5, Ariana Grande was Stuck With You. Last night, which is completely illegal, last night, last second, like last hour, Stuck With You by Ariana Grande submits 60,000 units out of nowhere, completely out of nowhere. This is the forecast they sent every label. It puts Ariana Grande was Stuck With You at 43.7, which jumps 12 points. They went from being 5th place to 1st place out of nowhere, right? It puts Gooba 40 points. So Gooba never jumps to number 1, but Ariana jumps from number 5 to number 1. And then they post for a very limited time. So Billboard, I'll be real disappointed, because this is for every rapper, artist in the world, every genre. If you manipulate the charts, right, and you create bundles, let's go to Google, right? Let's go to Google real quick. Google streamed over 200 million streams, more than Stuck With You, Doja Cat, more than every artist that released a song this week. Double the times. It's a landslide, right? Sony, Doja Cat is, I believe it was Sony. Sony placed an audit to Billboard, and they said, we want to see your numbers because we're not comfortable being number 3. We want number 1. I mean, no, I think they said we're comfortable with Tekashi being number 1, but why are we number 3? So Universal Music has put an audit in, and Sony has put an audit in, because literally you're manipulating the charts now. So Billboard, the world is watching and saying, why y'all cheat? If y'all doing this to every artist in the world, how can an artist that works hard get number 1? How?
So given like the 2 rants he did on Billboard and having done some like background information and background research, my opinion's a little bit different. I think, one, I know for a fact that YouTube streams are counted, but apparently according to Russ, they lowered the number of YouTube streams that actually count. So I mean, I have no way of verifying how many, like what percentage of YouTube streams actually count. So even though Tekashi had like a whole bunch of views, like 100 million more views than Stuck With You, who knows how many of those views actually counted towards like charting. A lot of them could have just been like empty views. Some of them could have been like just bots. Not saying that he used bots, I'm just saying like in general, some of them could have been bots and not counted towards streams. Do they count like monetized streams? I know Tekashi's video didn't have any ads running for like first couple hours. It was put out, so that could have like contributed to the amount of views, not counting towards streaming at all. I also find it interesting that he didn't like mention Justin Bieber or Ariana Grande like directly for contributing to this. He was kind of more of like attacking a label, and again, like Tekashi isn't signed to a major label anymore, and I doubt any major labels want to sign him. And I'm talking about like Universal, I'm talking about RCA, like all those giant ones. I'm not talking about like locals or like self music blogs. I'm talking about not music blogs, music companies. I'm thinking like music labels. I don't think like any major label wants to take him out just because like bad press. You never know. I mean, he's probably gonna bring in a lot of money. Like he made like 20 million in streams while he was locked up. So I mean, the label sees that and they're like, oh yes, make us some more money. I think like in this scenario, we're probably not going to get any further information on the investigation or the audit. I feel like this is going to last like a week. Like we're going to talk about this and then it's going to get buried on the rug and then no one's going to mention this Billboard scandal ever again. And again, we're just going off Tekashi's words and we don't have verification. We are not seeing like the direct projections from Billboard. We're not seeing like which the actual streaming numbers broken down by chart. Like we're not seeing streams from Apple Music, we're not seeing streams from Spotify, we're not seeing streams from SoundCloud, we're not seeing counted YouTube streams at all. It's kind of up there in the air to see if what Tekashi's saying is accurate. We would have to like check the sources, and we have like no way of checking the sources at all. I know Billboard was on some other controversy because apparently Nicki got uncredited for Say So, and then they credited her again, and then everyone's like freaking out because they were like wondering if Nicki got her number one or not. Tekashi did debut at number 3 though, which is kind of interesting. I would hope he would debut at least number 2. I mean, Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber, they're like extremely huge artists, and they're like their fans are literally like stans, so they'll like run up the streams. And there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing wrong about being a big fan if you're like super toxic and just saying stream this under every single post on Twitter. Then you're pretty toxic. But I generally have no problem with those two fan bases. And if I saw some people tweeting like they were like, hey, wouldn't the bank notice if there were like super large amounts of like purchases on like just individual credit cards? Because Tekashi claims like, hey, those 60,000 streams, 30,000 of those were bought using credit cards, and it's like, so people are like, hey, you can't do that with a credit card. There's certain transactions you could do with a bank if you notify them ahead. Like if you take like a random, usually people's accounts, they have, I don't know if a lot of people know this. I saw a lot of younger people like debating this, but usually your debit card or your credit card, it usually has like a cap, like, hey, if you spend more than say $1,000, we'll cancel or suspend the transaction until we get verification that was in fact you. But you also can call ahead and be like, hey, I'm gonna buy this thing that's worth this much. Can you guys raise my like cap limit on my card? Like that's definitely a thing for sure. Yeah, let me know your opinions on this. I mean, there's no way we can verify Tekashi's words at all, and we're probably not gonna get any information from Billboard, that's for sure. And yeah, like, subscribe to the